Hey healers. Low vibes only. Bad vibes only. Bad vibes only. I love giving bad vibes. Most people don't understand like how dope you have to be to love to give out bad vibes, because it just filters out so many people. Most people, they're not as dope, so they need more people. But when you're that dope, you have to filter and weed out people. And one of the good ways to do that is by being negative, bad vibes, weird, unlikable. I find so much pleasure in being unlikable, like being intentionally unlikable. Even as I say that, if you can listen in for the tones, this is a teachable moment. You guys, this is what I do. I train psychic mediums. I train spiritual warriors in your multidimensional gifts. And it goes way beyond whatever everyone else is talking about. It goes way beyond what a lot of the things that you see in mainstream spiritual spaces, which is why it can be sort of frustrating for me being advanced. Sometimes you're so advanced that people think you don't know what you're talking about because they're so beginner level in your discipline. And that can be a really uncomfortable place to be in, because you're forced to translate your genius to someone who's very elementary with it. This is the importance of having support no matter what you do when you want to advance to a high level. That's why there's such a huge rise in the coaching industry right now, because people have to perform at higher levels in order to be competitive in the global marketplace. And so if you don't have a coach, you're not going to be able to compete. You're not going to be able to keep up at that level. Because what a coach will do is a coach will coach you to delegate. A coach will coach you to get more support. That's what a coach is supposed to do. I think one of the big issues that a lot of people are having with seeking out quality coaching and quality mentorship, this has always been an issue ever since I can remember, of me first coming into women of color, radical women of color organizing spaces and blogging when social media was called blogging. Sunshine, what mama? You already finished that bone? No, because I see, this is why she wants another bone. She just becomes spoiled treat girl, because every time I'm trying to film a video, I give her a treat so that she'll go chill somewhere. But I didn't think she was going to finish that bone that fast. But it was tiny. It was made to look like a little chicken wing. All right, girl, get on ahead with yourself. Come on, mama, we'll go. Mommy, come on. Girl. Mama girl. Mama girl. She really wants to play, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're filming a video. Come on. Alright. Mommy girl. Good girl. So, if you want to know what taking a class with me is like, this is what it's like. One of the really important things about teaching, being a teacher, is you're guiding your students to know that they can do it too, and they can incorporate their life and their lifestyle in with their work, and not have to always be on all the time. Although when it's time to get to work, you get to work. But that's what the necessity of boundaries is, because if you don't have the adequate boundaries to protect your time, energy, and space, then you're not going to have enough of it to do what you need to do. And that can be a really scary thing. I feel like that's one of the things that's behind why so many people don't want to get into relationships, is because it's like, is this going to steal my freedom, peace, and joy? Because if it is, I don't need that. But on a certain level, I mean, if you look at it on the sanctity side, the sanctity of a relationship, being locked in with somebody, the necessities of connection that you need to actually have a stable and flourishing union lifelong with like a stable grounding for children, it's like not very common in this culture, in this society. That's why you see so many people. The society is set up and structured for people to break up, and for kids and parents and family members and people just to be out here doing whatever. And that's why there's so much illness, so much violence, so much abuse, so much poverty, and so much stealing within families. Because a brother or a sister will drain their sibling dry without regard for that sibling's life. And it's not everybody else's job to take care of everybody else's fucking kids that they have, because that was your choice. And a lot of my friends got really mad at me and all wanted to pile on, even though they never made a fucking peep out of anything I had to say ever on social media. But when I said this, they sure did have some shit to say. But it was so funny because they benefited from my lack of boundaries in the area. So I'm trying to get hype. That's why we get hype. Like, I'm tired of people. No, because for real, my audience is... It's a thing called people pleasing, but it's really self-abandonment, and it's a survival tactic. It's Stockholm syndrome. It's having to survive off of people that hate you and are basically fucking trafficking you. Girl, Sunshine, she's like, yeah, you're getting hype. I want to get hype too. Let's play. Oh my god. But she gets so jealous when I do stuff that's not about her, but when I get into a calm, regulated state, then she'll probably just go chill somewhere. So it's important for you guys to see this. So we deal with the mother wound. A lot of the people that I work with are mothers. And one of the things that can get very tiring and very old about doing this, what we do is when people project their mother issues onto you. So if you want someone to project your mommy issues onto, get a dog. Don't do me, because I got my own dog and I got my own mommy issues. And this has been the thing that keeps coming up over and over. It's funny because when I started off with it with my work, I really didn't understand what it was. I was channeling. So basically I was just a vessel. Why are you biting me? Get out of here. I'm about to put her in the other room. Come on. Get your fucking bone and go, girl. Come on. Get in here. Come on, mama. That's right. His boundaries. But she's feeling a little extra because I never put her in her crate and I feed her treats all the time. I take her wherever she wants to go and I spoil her. But I love it. It's so great. So I don't give a fuck. She's preparing me to have children. This is one thing that I've noticed too. My mom used to always give up dogs. She would adopt a dog because someone would basically dump a dog on her, and she would be like, yeah, I want a dog. So my mom was a people pleaser, and my grandma was too, but my mom and my grandma are also narcissists, and so am I. But I don't think that, according to the clinical definition, I would really fit. But I really embrace the label of narcissist, and I also embrace the label of empath. I don't think it's mutually exclusive. Actually, they go together because you're not going to be able to be a successful narcissist without being highly empathetic in a lot of ways that people don't really see. Also, I want to say this when it comes to men and women relationships. A lot of times women think they're more spiritually advanced and they know more than men do. Like if they have a twin flame or a partner or they're in love or anything like that, married, they might think, oh my God, I'm doing all this spiritual development work. He's not spiritually developed as he don't believe in my gifts, blah blah blah. Well, one, he's really gonna have to see them to believe them, because if he can't feel it and know it, then he's not gonna feel it or know it. And two, men usually have a lot more of their spiritual gifts ingrained in their unconscious programming, so it's just the way that they move. They're more like, I'm not gonna get into what men are. We're gonna talk more about that in my Dark Feminine Mystery School. So there's a lot of things that I can't really speak on publicly. They're not for the public domain, so they're private in my private course membership. Root Lock includes all my courses, or you can take them one by one. And all my courses, everything I've ever taught, fits into one of these categories. So if you've ever wanted to study with me, get in where you fit in, or take Root Lock and get it all. Because this is education that you will need, and it's worth more than a college degree. I have no problem saying that. I have a college degree. I have multiple certifications. I don't make a big deal about certifications with my courses for a very specific reason, even though I understand why other people do, and I'm not saying this to downplay anybody else's certifications. I'm not downplaying my own certifications. Like, this is a rigorous study that for you to be successful in, it's so much more than a piece of paper. And you will be qualified and tested by life and initiated by life. And that's why I create a foundation and a platform, that Heaven on Earth app, that is a place where you can always return to, just to come back, just to know that you're there. You're under the veil. You can always come back. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter how long it's been, where you've been. You can always come back. Heaven on Earth, you can always come back. It's your home. It's your heaven on earth. It's a place inside of your heart. And our hearts are opening because of being broken open, and we're learning to live unburdened. And it's very painful and beautiful. It's like a deepest orgasm from the inside of the core of your being that ripples out throughout all of humanity. And it's so beautiful. It creates worlds. We're witnessing the death of empire now, and the vibration on Earth has gotten so high collectively. Unfortunately, the reason why everything is so hard right now and so bad in a lot of ways is because the collective grief is getting purged from the earth, and there are people that are designated specific grief workers and specific sacrifices to aid in that occurring. And I hate to put it that way, but I feel like we need to be real about this, especially in spiritual spaces, that human sacrifice is one of the oldest forms of worship. So if you're not honest about that, you're missing a whole segment of life that will actually make you a puppet and make you into the sacrifice without you knowing it. And I think everyone deserves to have that choice, because back in the day when people were sacrifices, they were proud of it. They trained their whole life to be that, and they didn't cry when it happened. No one cried for them but their mothers, as the story goes. Your mother is the one that's going to love you the most, no matter who, like, out of anybody, and it's because she created you, but she also, guess what coincides with love? She has extreme hatred of you because of everything you represent to her. And the sooner we can be real about that, the sooner we can get on with life. And that's what I was going to say earlier, when everybody, all my friends, they're not my friends anymore, obviously, the whole friend group, but they never commented on my Facebook, but always watched everything, because I would know that, because then they would only comment if they wanted to argue. And that's a common symptom of the mother wound, that as it plays out and expresses amongst women and people together, because you never could talk back to your mom, or maybe your mom was like a threatening person, that like you now have this other person in front of you exhibiting motherly love, but that they are someone that you can feel safe disagreeing with, or it's just basically something that people have to work out, and then they're gonna work it out wherever they can. And so I put up a post that was like, I was talking about how people with kids always think everybody is supposed to fucking help them with their kids. And I'm sorry, I've been part of radical childcare communities and like don't leave your friends behind as a concept my entire life. And I literally took care of my siblings and cousins growing up, and I started babysitting at a young age for money. So I don't want to fucking hear it. I've been there for so many friends, doing so much shit for them and their kids. And then all of a sudden I realized, what about me and my future family that I don't have yet, because I'm too fucking traumatized by life and too fucking exhausted from raising everybody else's kids to even consider. And then I have to look at, why am I going psycho all the time? Because I'm fucking burdened by other people's shit and other people's problems that's not mine. And I'm just constantly taking it on because I don't know anything else to do. And you wonder why bitches go fucking crazy. And it's called BPD or whatever. You're always going to split and go psycho when you're faced with untenable situations in which other people try to make their problems be your problems. And sometimes you literally might have to fucking fight someone. Like, have you ever in your life had to fucking fight someone for your boundaries? And you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it doesn't feel good when it gets activated ever in the slightest. And to be honest, when you try to grow yourself and you are put in more and more positions where you're feeling like the tension and fear is activated, or you don't know what the fuck is going on, can be extremely scary, and the only way that anybody does it or deals with it is by building in support. And I'm not saying this to you guys lightly, because I literally had to practically take a whole fucking year off of work. I mean, I didn't take no time. Y'all seen me, I've been working, but in 2021, I had a meltdown, and it had to do with my mom. I still haven't told y'all what I said in the Facebook status that made everybody mad. I'll tell y'all at the end of the video. Oh my god, I look like a ragamuffin. I don't even give a fuck. One of the reasons why I haven't been filming a lot of videos is because I just haven't been feeling good about the way I look. I have not been feeling good about the way I look. I've been feeling really bad about it, so I just haven't wanted to show up. I also went through a lot of stuff, like when I started like doing better, like my business, like it's so crazy. Like everybody loved me when I just had no fucking boundaries. I gave everything of me. I posted my naked body for everyone to see, and I'm not mad that I did it, because I had necessary progressions that I needed to go through for accepting me. But I just find it funny how much more people want to see me sell pussy than anything else. And I think you guys are fucking on crack. That shit is all fucking cursed, and you're just bowing down to it. And there's a reason why there's just like fucking mass movements of former sex workers taking their fucking sugar daddy money and investing it in a fucking farm or moving out of the country to get away from you fucks. You fucking psychos. Fucking cannibals. People eat human flesh every day and love it. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm better. I am not gonna act like I'm better. I'm a part of this society too. And this is a thing, because people don't tell you, guys about this, then if somebody does, like me, then you think that person is the villain, when that person is really like actually trying to help you. And so this is what we're diving into in the Dark Feminine Mystery School. And another part of it, like, we're diving into every part of
what it means to be a woman, a natural woman, and why do you think that they've murdered millions of us throughout time, and they've staged so many wars. They've staged wars to forcibly implant into our wombs and create new races. They've staged all kinds of events throughout time. They've done so much stuff to try to kill us. I'm gonna be 40 this year. I am like public enemy number one. It's so funny. Everybody has a reason to claim that status, so do you, boo. But people do not really understand. It's like in front of people's faces, but it's not looked at, seen, or spoken on. Like, for example, Hajar. Hajar is the mother of Islam. She's not mentioned in the Quran once. She's the reason that the religion exists. She's the mother of the entire bloodline. She was a concubine that got pregnant and was banished so that nobody would know about it, because she got pregnant by a king who already had a wife and already had heirs to the throne. And so he sent them off, and they almost starved to death in the desert and died. Until a miracle happened and they found some water and an oasis and food and built a city there, and that's Mecca. That's colonized by Saudi Arabia. And they have $1 million, $billion tourism industry for people migrating there. The whole religion is based on sex slavery. And everyone that's born into their religion is born into sex slavery. And if you didn't know that before, it's because it's a secret. But it's literally hidden in plain sight right there for you to look at, but nobody ever does. Because they're too distracted by everything else. And, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it, 'cause it's what I do. I can speak in any language with you. We're supposed to be able to speak telepathically. We can motherfucking teleport. We're in jail. We're literally in prison. We're slaves. And everybody want to act like slavery happened in such and such year. I will never stop saying this. Slavery is ongoing. It's people in slavery in your fucking neighborhood right now. So shut the fuck up. I'm tired of hearing people claim that as a fucking whatever. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. People have all these power plays. You know what? When you start to see it, you'll start to see. And that's what will separate you out of the current caste that you may be in. Because why the fuck? No, it's a power play. Everything that anybody ever tells you that tries to evoke sympathy or empathy for them is a fucking power play. Period. They're only in the innocence of your inner child, sharing purely from pain or pleasure or power or, just love, pure love. Like, only from the inner child's purity is that not a power play and a manipulation when someone is sharing. And we learn it as children to make those power plays, to manipulate our parents to get our needs met, because that's what our parents teach us to do, because that's how they get their needs met. I don't think it's a big secret, but then everybody wants to act like they're just so fucking perfect. No, the fuck you're not, and we know it. And we can literally see through it. That there's no secrets anymore. This is why people have co-opted spirituality to appeal to corporate interests, but they don't actually believe in it, because they are only going to be spiritual when it maintains their corporate interests and not any other time. And most people don't know what they're talking about because they're brainwashed clones. But Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? I'm just some bitch. I have had all kinds of transcendent experiences from like popular culture and being, I honestly, like, when I try to come and say that, it doesn't even feel genuine. Because that's the thing about this. The popular culture is popular so that it can be around a bunch of people without offending their sensibilities, but it doesn't take into consideration the fact of the way that people's sensibilities are so different. What is acceptable and normal and popular in one place versus another place. So it makes a homogeneity, and then people end up celebrating it, which is like perfectly exemplified in the new Beyonce song, because for a lot of people the only reason why they like that song is because they feel like they're sticking it to racist white people, and they're like, ooh, this is country music for us. But I remember, man, I'm sorry, but Beyonce is like totally her music is used to stoke a race war that is impending for 2025. They want all the races to fight each other. It started with Black Lives Matter. People think Black Lives Matter is a good thing. They think Palestinian liberation organizations or movement is a good thing. It's like Palestinian liberation. Sure, liberation is great, but what it is co-opted by and used to advance is not great. And I know. And I don't think everybody has to be as outspoken as I am about their histories. This is the thing, because I'm teaching you guys about manipulation while I'm also using marketing to get your business and to gain your trust. And I give you the opportunity to watch me in real time, and I always have. This is why anytime anybody wants me to teach them any fucking thing, I do it. You just have to pay attention, and you have to actually have an attention span for learning and connecting. And it's okay if you zone out, whatever you gotta do, but it'll hit you somehow if you're open to the energy versus closing yourself off to me. And I see a lot of people do that, and they don't realize that they're doing it. They're like, because of mother wounding, it closes us off to further sisterhood. Because of sister wounding, it closes us off to further sisterhood. And from my personal experience, you guys, I have deep mother wounds and deep sister wounds. Like, when I was born, my mom, my grandmother, and my dad were at breakfast, or they went to breakfast. I don't know what the fuck was happening when I was born, because all my mom ever says is that my dad and my grandma dropped her off at the hospital and just left her there. And I'm like, no wonder, because I mean, it's just typical. It's like, it's my fucking birthday. It's like the day that I'm born, and everybody is like, oh, this is such an inconvenience. Can we get back to ourselves now? And even my grandmother is not even, my grandmother and my dad, they're not doing that for my mom. And if it wasn't for me breaking generational curses, then what choice would I have but to live out that same experience? I get to have the choice. I can choose whether I want to have kids or not. And honestly, I've always wanted kids my whole entire life. I've always wanted a big family. But honestly, the older I get, I could see myself, like, just not doing that. Like, I could see myself doing something else. And I don't know what it is, but I have a pretty good life. And it's just me and sunshine. So I'm not mad at it at all. And I worked really hard to get here, so nobody can tell me shit. So, doing this little check-in with you guys, just to kind of find my flow again, and also tell a story, and at the same time drop some knowledge. And so I have different levels to what I share to get closer and closer to the deepest teachings that I offer. They have to be gate kept. I have to take you through them in that way so that you can earn your right to access them. And I really encourage all of y'all to set your lives up like this. This is my I have a class in Reiki Mother on boundaries. This is a boundary setting technique that I teach. I really started implementing it last year. My life has completely changed. Like I said, there's friends and entire friend groups that I'm not friends with anymore, and I don't care at all. If they were to come to me to for a conversation, I would be open to it, but I'm not going to them because I already did that so many times, and I was always put into that role in my family. And I think it's crazy how your upbringing affects every aspect of your life. The way you grew up affects everything. I have always been a go-getter. I'm a firstborn daughter in an immigrant family. That was so funny. I saw this meme that was there's no there's no stronger man in the world than a firstborn daughter. And I was kind of first I was offended, but then I was also looking back at my own life, it's just so funny because I never felt like I needed men. I felt like they were so disposable. I liked to take my aggression out on them because I felt like they deserved it. But I was really just lost. I was sad about my father, and my father's life was stolen from him, and he was stolen from me because of things that I talk about: generational curses, survivor's guilt. He survived fighting in a war, fighting as a freedom fighter. He don't get no fucking veterans, whatever. But see, this is a thing that people don't understand either. Everybody always wants to talk about the benefits that immigrants get when they come here, which a lot of people don't know what those benefits are or why they exist. But then also the fact that it's even a conversation. People, you don't get to have it both ways. Everybody wants their piece of the pie, but they don't want other people to have a piece of it. But it's an ecosystem that goes together. It's a whole ecosystem of oppression that goes together. So everybody's going to get their little piece of the pie, and the people with the most in that system are because they're doing the majority of the dirt in some type of way. Their metrics is outputting higher levels of service to the organization. So in order to actually make high levels of wealth without having to do or be involved in certain things, then there's a whole other process that you have to take. This is when I talk about transcending the caste system, this is what I'm talking about. Because usually, for example, one of the things I was saying was, for a lot of people to transcend the caste system, they become educators or they become medical professionals. And the reason why, or they become entertainers, right? And the reason why they're able to transcend the caste system through those methods is because they're having high degrees of influence on high amounts of people, often at their most vulnerable. So, for example, the Beyonce song, my Lyft driver was telling me that they were saying that melody or whatever was stolen from a children's show, because the children's show had the same like sing-songy, like whoo, like type of up and down, like low and high sound. And so of course that's like being used to induce a certain like theta state in the brainwaves, which the children's show would also be like a lot of times aiming to do. So this programming starts early, and the music sounds pleasing to listen to because it's measured out by a computer to adhere to an algorithm to like open up your brainwaves in a certain way, so that when they're putting the subliminals in, they can insert them directly, and that you won't, and it'll bypass certain functions and you won't be able to notice. But when you train your multidimensional skills, you can still you can still probably consume media sometimes, somewhat, but you'll see when there's things coming through. You'll notice, you'll become more aware of when something is trying to be implanted into your field without you knowing it. This is the healing mind control ritual. The healing mind control ritual is like the most important. It comes with all my courses because it's like the most important thing. It's the most important thing to do, is to deprogram and reprogram your mental body, what you think about things, because that's your thoughts. They're manifesting, they're shaping the world. Your thoughts are supposed to come from inside of you and flower up, like ripple up, but they come from like satellites and other interplanetary devices that are connected in with your brainwaves, and they connect them through your nervous system. They use fear and they use trauma in order to get in there. So they have like little control centers. Like it looks like a little tiny alien that's like got a joystick or something. And it's in there. Like, so this is the thing, your spiritual workers, they're likely gonna have stuff in their field unless they've worked to clear it out. And it can take a long time for that stuff to clear out. Even when you do the work to clear it out, it might still take years before it actually flushes out. You might have to have certain life experiences. There might be other things you have to do. So I don't think anyone should hold themselves to like some standard of energetic perfection when you're doing this work, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do the work that you're called to do. You are needed. We are moving into a time where we are needed in our roles. Everybody needs to lock in to move forward and to do your job. So for me, for example, I live in New Orleans. I moved here to be part of the spiritual war. I moved here to fight the spiritual war. I came here, I was gonna say I almost died. I was doing energy work from within the French Quarter, in like the first Vatican compound in the French Quarter, doing energy work to work on the sexual energy of the collective, which my collective, Hose Are Healers, that was my page. That was sex workers, survivors. So then the next night, the couch I was sleeping on was caught on fire, and the part that burned was right where I was sitting when I was doing the energy work, and it was so scary. And so some of you guys know, like, New Orleans has burned down several times. A lot of the cities in the United States have burned down because that's how they hid the fact that they were already there. The United States did not start them. Like, those cities, there's plenty of cities that are older than the United States. The only reason why people don't automatically know the truth about everything is because as soon as you're born, you're constantly bombarded with other information. It used to be so normal for people to have the TV or a radio going 24/7. And it still is for a lot of people. Like, most people don't sit in silence, especially if they're dealing with heavy trauma. And the great thing about our generation, these generations that we're part of, it's like a wave, and people are just taking the time to sit with themselves and go within and change things that they don't like and be the change and live it. And there's always that option to do so. But change is hard, actually, and most people are not going to give one another or themselves the time to actually do it. People make snap judgments, and again, for safety. So this is one of the problems of our society that with the inauthenticity is because people are afraid to be authentic because they don't want people to not like them, because if people don't like you, that could really affect your life in a lot of ways. True generational wealth isn't how much money you have, it's how much freedom you have and how stable your freedom is. Like, it's better to have a stable, a modest life that's stable than something that's extravagant that could just, you pull one of the Jenga blocks out and it just all crumbles. I started doing webcam in my house, in my apartment, when I was, it was 2008, was it? 2007? Actually, I think it was 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. 7, 8, 9. But I just looked at my camera and it made me think of a picture that I had taken back then. And I got my like art station behind me, and that's what reminded me of the picture, because my webcam studio was also my art studio. I was just a little hustle bunny, making it. I had this boyfriend, and I was like, he wasn't doing it for me. So I was like, let me just chill on him, and instead of seeing him for 2 weeks, which I normally would see him, go to his house, then I just did webcam. And see, right then and there, when I said I would go see him and go to his house, that let me know. If I was somebody else listening to this, that would let me know why it didn't work out, because I was going to him instead of him coming to me, or him having like holding the space for us. Like, no, I'm sorry, but certain things they just don't feel good. They just don't feel good, because like that's how I feel when I hear. That reminded me of a conversation that I overheard at the dog park with a man talking about like he being in a relationship and going to therapy, but as soon as he said that he was like his woman was like at his house and then she left, I was like, that's the problem. It's not that y'all need therapy, it's that she's coming to you, you're not going to her. Dumbass. I just want to like smack people upside the head, but people don't know what they don't know. And it's like as a woman, I don't want to be at somebody else's house. I want to be at my own fucking house. Unless it's really nice. And you can make me feel like it's better than my house. So this is the issue that a lot of people have, is because of growing up in an immigrant family or a family in poverty. This is like a deep mother wound, a deep matrilineal wounding, because so many women have come out of poverty and they've either like recreated it, or the only way that they've been able to get out of it has been to completely deny where they come from and who they are. And that creates a disconnect that leads to generational Alzheimer's, generational trauma that causes Alzheimer's. Starting to rain again. I think my door's open. Oh no, I closed it. Okay. So, What was I talking about? Just kidding. Turn this brightness up. That's better. So it's just me, your internet homegirl, who helps you break generational curses and transcend the caste system. No big deal. Hey, bestie. I like doing this more than talking to people. Like, don't get me wrong, I could talk to anybody about anything at any given time of day, no matter who it is. But it's really nice to be able to just be here in the comfort of my home and talk to all of you guys all at once and then go on about my day. Because if I try to fill my time up with all these conversations, it'll just be too much. And that's why I keep it short with a lot of y'all, because a lot of people want to pick my brain about things that's my professional expertise, and I don't get it. Why you would think that you should be able to do that? Just because we're friends. But I did used to let a lot of stuff slide, but I'm just getting older now and I can't do it no more. Can't do it. And I'm taking time and space for me to decide what I want and what feels good for me, and everybody else can suck a duck. They can suck a duck. I just moved into my new place. It's 3 bedrooms. I have my office / art studio, which we are in right now. In front, like the living room, kitchen, other bathroom, another bathroom, bedroom, my studio, which is going to be my yoga room / content studio. I'm gonna get everything I want in here, everything I want and need. I have place for everything, for me to do everything that I want to do. I couldn't have this if I let everybody be up under my titty, suckling off of my energy. I couldn't do this if I just let everybody have their way with me. I couldn't do this if I didn't keep it shit short where it needed to be. And it came with a lot of blood, menstrual blood and tears and sweat, all of that. I did it. And I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do and what I want to do so that I can have a great life for myself, and that's all I need to care about. People are trying to make you care about them so that you can contribute your life force energy to them. But some of us care so much about all of humanity that we don't let them do that to us. We just keep shit short and keep it sweet and keep it out of the way. Now, then, from there, then you can let in influences and energy, because you already set your boundaries, you made yourself comfortable. You're not constantly being milked for your energy from everybody around you. I guarantee you the majority of homeless women, homeless people, period, people that are institutionalized, anybody that's in jail, anybody that's in a fucked up position, I guarantee you that they've been surrounded by sharks, snakes, and wolves their entire life, including raised by them, and have people milking them their entire lives. Because that's, for example, people in homeless shelters, people that are homeless, or that are in poverty, have never experienced safely holding wealth, because there will always be someone that would take it from them, or use them to get it in some type of way from the earliest age, because that's what happens in poverty. Only people that grow up with wealth are able to escape that. But then what ends up happening is that in the transition to get there, the parent usually ends up resenting the child so much that it like ruins their relationship, or they try to ruin that wealth for their child, and then when the child makes the wealth, like, they have it with their children and they don't want to associate with the parents, or the parents are dead from early death from illness because of their lifestyle. So these are the real generational curses that we're breaking in our families, and I don't take it lightly. And I have had to get a lot of people up away from me in order to be able to speak freely the way that I need to. I've had to set my boundaries, and I've had to just be alone. Like, I've done a lot of things that I really don't see a lot of other people doing in my spiritual journey to really have authenticity and sovereignty, to be able to deliver my message, no matter who don't like it, and even no matter who do like it, because it's kind of uncomfortable that people will think they know me just because they like my content. You don't know me, you just like, and then I started off this video talking about how it feels good to be unlikable, because like no matter how unlikable I try to be, people are still gonna try to be stuck on my butt. Because that's what happens when you just really got it. You just really got the juice. And I know that a lot of people want to think that you're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to be humble as a spiritual worker. You're supposed to be humble as a spiritual guide. And I don't feel that way. Yeah, I know a lot of humble people that are real healers. The majority of real healers have nothing. The people that know the earth and tend to the earth the best, you don't know who they are. And they live very humbly. I know that. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us, where we are, who we are. And I think you should not be humble. I think you should really know what you have and know who you are. I'm not saying that, that I think it's a good sign when your ego gets involved and when you start to pop your shit. And then from what enables you to stay humble and become more humble is that you set yourself up for success with support and with boundaries and with getting your needs met. So that way you don't have to be super egotistical because you're already valued by everyone in your environment. And you don't have to like go crazy and let them know how valuable you are, or like, you don't have to do nothing extra to achieve that. It's just understood. And when people benefit from you diminishing yourself, dimming your light or dimming your shine, they're going to try to maintain a status in which you continue to do that. So that's one of the quintessential attributes of the mother wound. One of the quintessential attributes of the mother wound is dimming your light, because you know that it's going to make her uncomfortable. And you're more tuned into her needs than you are tuned into your own needs. You're more tuned into her needs than she's tuned into your needs on that level at that point in that childhood, in that type of childhood. And she's not tuned into your needs because you, as an extension of her, like, she's not tuned into her own needs. She's not emotionally available for herself. Everybody always wants to be like, that's your mother. She did the best she could. She raised you. Thank you for making sure I didn't die. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how anybody survives. It's a fucking miracle. Also, you traumatized me in many ways I can and can't explain. All I want to be able to do is have a conversation with you about it. I still love you. I want to talk about it so we can actually move past it. I know you got me fucked up if you think that you're gonna bring that shit. I'm actually gonna go to all the trouble of creating a family, and then I'm gonna let you bring that toxic shit into it. No way. So at a certain point, when I started thinking a certain way, I had to start getting really psycho about my boundaries, and I'm not sorry for my friend group who, how come I was always there for you and your kids? You're not going to be there for me and my kids, because that's never what this was. Because you're actually participating in something that diminishes my generational wealth through taking from me. But you didn't know, I didn't know. I was just doing whatever I was used to. And you was just taking advantage of that and benefiting from that. But the thing is, like, it's like I changed. I'm not the same person that I was, because I broke these generational curses. So I would never have children in that environment or with that type of energy or around those people. It just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't work unless something changes. Because I don't necessarily believe that everything always has to be a cutoff, but some things are just temporary and they don't need to continue. And it's like that when the boundaries start hitting, then they're not necessary. It's not whatever closeness when you don't have codependency and you don't have like financial dependency or a dependency like group allegiance and group alliances dependency, then a lot of things just aren't necessary. So it feels good to be unlikable when that means that everyone's going to leave me alone and not try to use me or try to get whatever they need from me. I will rather them talk negatively about me. I have a proven system for alchemizing that energy. You think you know, but you have no idea. Trust me. And I'm going to be teaching in the Dark Feminine Mystery School. I'm going to be offering a free mother class coming up soon. But in the meantime, I'm dropping all these mother classes. I'm just going to film and keep filming. Because like I said, I haven't been feeling good about myself, so I haven't been filming. But it's not a good enough reason not to show up because I don't know, it could make such a big difference and be so beneficial if I do. And so I'm going to tell you guys, like, I think that everybody should start practicing being unlikable if you haven't already. And if you can't become unlikable safely in your current situation, I completely understand. Join the Heaven on Earth app, heavenonearthreiki.org. Say less. You'll benefit from studying with me. And we're going to be going to the Dark Feminine Mystery School coming up this month. 3-2-1, March 21st. That's also breaks down to 33. And that's my life path number. So we're not even going to get into the difference between a 6 and a 33, but sometimes people might have you mistaken for a 6 and you're really a 33. So that's all. That's that on that. Being unlikable will save you a lot of time and energy. It will keep fake ass people from up around you. People will leave you alone because they don't want to be associated with you. They don't want anybody else to know that they're associated with you because they don't want to be, they don't want to be bad like you. They don't want to be a social reject like you. But little do they know you have a huge benefit to gain from rejecting people from around you. But now we come out the other side of it. It's like that. This is the shadow work. You embrace everything that's unlikable about you or that other people hate that you yourself can't stand. You're like, you yourself look at it, you cringe, you're ashamed, you feel like shit about it. You yourself, before anybody else does, okay? So this is what that shadow work is. You show up for it. Why am I able to get up on a video and speak so freely, so candidly? Because I've been doing this for years. Like, this is not new for me. This is a lifetime of creative production, actually. And truth-telling. I used to write zines back when per-zines, aka personal zines, were a thing. If you know, you know. Leave a comment if you ever read my zine, No Snow Here. I had a zine called No Snow Here. I had a zine called Self-Assessment. I had a zine called Drag Queen Phenom. Don't ask me why. I was just gay. And I liked drag queens. And I would cut up all these pictures from Delia's catalog and like remix them together. Don't ask me why. I was 12. No Snow Here was my zine that I wrote. Oh yeah, I had another zine called Then I Felt. That was a poetry zine. And then I had like No Snow Here. That was my main zine, and then that became the name of my blog. If you ever read it or heard of it, let me know. Drop a comment and let me know. So now I'm gonna tell you guys what I wrote in the infamous Facebook post, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I wrote it. Because I was tired of being manipulated by my friends who were single moms to do stuff for them, with them complaining about how hard it was for them as single moms, because I realized that that was a manipulation tool that they used, and that was one of the ways that they like survived, was off of other people's sympathy. And it's, I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with anybody's survival tactics that they use, but what I learned is that my own survival tactics have been suppressed because of survival. Does that make sense? My own defense mechanisms were shut down. I couldn't recognize manipulation. I would participate in it actively, because I didn't have my own safety and my own stability and my own grounding. And when I changed, that's why a lot of those friendships and those relationships dissolved. And there was, wrapped up in it was the victimhood consciousness related to single motherhood, related to race, related to all, whatever, anything that anybody could feel a victim over. And within victimhood consciousness, there's always a desire to rescue someone else. And so there's like a certain level of satisfaction found in rescuing someone else when you can't rescue yourself. But then what you find out is you can't rescue them either. Nobody can rescue anybody. And what I learned was that I was so attuned to other people's needs, but they had no way to attune to mine. I had no way to speak on my needs. I was used to being in a country, the United States, where I'm erased, I'm vilified. People don't know like what racism against people like me even looks like. And they don't think that it's possible for them to commit it. Even though like all their tax dollars pay for literal genocide. Whatever. So this has been a really this year I've gone through a purification process. And I know that like a lot of things that I've said probably don't make sense to a lot of people. Lucky for me, because I've been so willing to be disliked throughout my whole life with like how I show up and what I share. Even though like there might be a lot of people that don't like that or don't like those things about me, I have a loyal fan base. I have a loyal audience that is extremely skewed positively towards me and like gives me really good energy. Those are fans. Those are real fans. You have to let people be your fans. See, I used to not be able to do that. I used to like want to make friends with all of my fans. This is why I need to remain unlikable. Because you also, your fans don't need you to be their friend. They need you to be their hero. And this was where the mother wound comes into play too. It's like, this is a control freak tendencies. Because, okay, if we're close, they can't not like me. They can't reject me. They can't abandon me. I need to maintain this attention. This is why a lot of people don't make it through like levels of what they're doing. I know a lot of people want to say like, yay, collaboration over competition. Alliance collaboration is actually more rare than people think. Most of the time, collaboration is an excuse. Alright. Most of the time it's an excuse. And a lot of people's friendships are kind of excuses. Especially when we're talking about the realm of single women and single motherhood. There's a deeper issue going on when we're talking about everything that we've been talking about combined, the mother wound, all this stuff. There's like also the curse of losing men from our lineages that's there, like losing them at an early age, losing them for like to another woman, or
having a loss in our life, like even like losing boy children. So that's something that's present in where there's like strong presence of single motherhood in bloodlines and in communities. There's strong presence of loss of men also. So that's what's not being said. Like a lot of friendships, female friendships are cover up for like these women don't feel comfortable getting into a relationship with the men, and then probably they're whatever, if they're friends, if they have single friends, they probably won't be friends with those friends anymore after they do get in a relationship. The only friends they'll stay friends with are the ones that are also in relationships. And I think these are things that should be pointed out more. Within the realm of manipulation, for people that deal with these curses. Because like loyalty is co-opted, sisterhood is co-opted. A lot of times other women are not exactly your friends. They want something that you have, or they want to feel something that they imagine you as being able to feel that they can't, that they don't have. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but but just unfortunately how the culture is set up, it tries to make us go a certain way. So there's like a lot of layers here, right? Because you should have a strong female centric community like that. Every woman should have that. Everybody should have communities where they can tap in and be with people like of their gender, of other genders, that where they're able to like feel secure, feel comfortable. And segregation of the sexes is very normal for a lot of communities, and like throughout time, sacred times where people would go into solitude, like they had ways of using their energy, their relationships. All we're cut off from that so much now, but we have a dream. Like so many of the people that I work with like have visceral memories of like bathing each other and like caring for one another, you know, like washing each other's hair in the river, being mermaids, like being nymphs, like being forest sprites, working in temples together, doing spiritual work, doing oracle work. And so a lot of times when you have the most sisterhood wounds, like you have the most potential for you have the most need for those type of spaces. They have those type of spaces with sisters have the most potential to transform you and transform your life when you can really be held by other women. And it's not easy to do the holding or to be held. Neither part of it is easy. We need each other. And just as much as you need to be held, you need to hold also. Oh, and I know that can be triggering to a lot of people. You need to hold. You're going to learn things about yourself by holding that space that you would never be able to learn otherwise. And people have a lot of excuses to like hide from doing that. A lot of times what people say that they want, they don't really want it. They're not gonna do it. And as a teacher, like my job is just to like guide, lead by example, show you how I do this, let you become excited about the possibilities for yourself, and don't let you project your own insecurities onto me about it, because I believe in you. So it ain't my fault, babe, if you're not trying. I've created everything that I could think of to hold that space, and I'm continuing to fortify it. I was used to holding space, so it was no big deal for me to do it anytime anybody asked me, because that was how I found my self-worth. But then as I grew up, I learned to find my self-worth inside myself, of what I could do for myself, not what I could do for other people. So now that's how I live, and I get to have all the space I need to do that, and there's no one in my life that can tell me no. And there's nobody that can do anything to affect that, because it's between me and God. And it's supported by the universe and all of life. Everything that's love supports me. If you guys know my story, and when you learn it more, then you'll see like how much I've lived this. Because I know that a lot of times people think like, oh, you're special, it just works out easy for you, or you're lucky. A lot of things is true. Like, there's reasons why it works out special for me, but also those reasons are not special. They're very mundane. They're very regular. A lot of other people have those reasons too, but they just don't do with them what I did. So and people, like, yes, like we said, like, friends will sometimes choose you as a friend because you have something that they want, but you don't have to give it to them in a way that diminishes you. And a lot of things I never thought to ask or consider. I just would show up and I would be there. I didn't expect people to be able to do it for me, because that had never been a thing. And within codependency, you're trained to give first. Codependency culture teaches you to give first, and then you'll hopefully receive, because you've earned that. But in actuality, there's nothing you can do to earn love and receiving what you need. You're just supposed to have it. So when you get introduced to the belief system that it's anything other than that, then that's what causes generational poverty and lack, scarcity consciousness. And I can talk about it on an intellectual level, but I live it on a human level. So no, I'm never going to be perfectly healed. I'm going to be toxic and fucked up at times. I'm going to blame other people. I'm not going to be a safe place. I think it's a completely unreasonable expectation to expect from anybody to be that. And when people aren't allowed to have boundaries, it becomes impossible for them to achieve anything close to that. If you constantly take from somebody, they're going to become an unsafe space for you. It's all about what you're giving back. And it's really important to, like, know what you have to give and whatnot. So, one of the really hard things about becoming friends with people who have kids, or dating someone who has kids, is like getting close to the child, and then if anything goes wrong with the friendship, you just automatically lose that connection with that child, which is like, especially if you don't have children. Some people don't have children, and some people like, they want to be there as a figure in other people's that they're close to's kids' lives, that because that fills that need and that void for them. But sometimes that gets filled by those relationships for the purpose of keeping you from having your own children. And this is crazy. Like, it's crazy how people can pull you into their world in a way that is really detrimental to your soul and to your life mission. And if you're out of integrity and you're not connected with your ancestors, and you just don't know it, It's probably not due to any fault of your own, but it could be having a massive impact on your legacy. So I just really want to encourage people to ask these questions. Because the question I asked was, how come people always think that just because they have kids, that people without kids are supposed to, like, help them? And why are they always mad about, like, don't be mad about my freedom. I wasn't the one busting those nuts to get pregnant and make that kid. Why do you think I'm supposed to be there to help you? And all these friends piled on because they're all moms. You don't ever say shit to me until now, but you've benefited from my servitude to your fucking victimhood this whole time. That's why they said something, because it was like, hold on now, you taking our source away from us, and we don't like that. Because even if it's not me, it's somebody else that's from my group. I just can't even. I say stuff like that that's not likable, that might be termed mean, because I want people to get the fuck from around me and leave me the fuck alone. And I don't want them to blame me for their problems. And I actually work with single moms and help them in a real way to take agency and sovereignty and to receive. So I don't care what people think or how they feel. They're not dumping their kids on me. I made my life how I want it. And this is the thing that bothers me, because people be like, why are you single? You must be crazy. Excuse the fuck out of me if I'm single with no kids after a lifetime of raising everybody else's kids for them. Let me just enjoy my life. And how about that? I think I'm gonna do that. It's 4:44 on the clock. It's another one of those days. It's March 4th, 4:44. Nice. It's another one of those days that I seen. 1:11, 2:22, 3:33. Oh, I didn't see 3:33, did I? I seen 2:22 though. Ba-da-ba-ba. So yeah, it's one of those days in alignment, in the flow. This is an update. I'm gonna keep filming these for you guys. I'm just getting back into my flow. I have some media takeover plans in store. But yes, you guys, I'm gonna be teaching a mother class. So I haven't nailed down the theme completely, but I want to touch on something to do with scapegoating, with generational curses that can be cured through beauty, pleasure, and glamour. And something to do with the Cinderella curse, with the Cinderella archetype, the beggar archetype, and the Cinderella curse. So this shows up in basically the person in the family or the person in the group or whatever who's like so beautiful, so special, so pure, so loving. It's just basically the one that's getting dumped on by everybody. She's holding everything for everybody. They're benefiting, they're exploiting her. Okay, so what's the transformation that takes place for her when she goes to become a princess and she goes with the prince? What's the significance of the shoe that fits you? It's your mission. It's your transformation. It's your alchemy. It's your ancestors. And they will rescue you from bondage and deliver you and set you free and give you generational wealth and heal your bloodline. They'll heal your womb. They'll make a fertile place for you to get pregnant and thrive. What once was barren will be fertile. What once was dead and denied will be redeemed and reborn. This is coming up. This is our season. So, going into this season, diving deep into the dark feminine mysteries will prepare you ahead of time. I've set it up to where there's payment plan options. I want everybody to have access to these teachings. These are sacred, sensual healing techniques and sacred transmissions that you will not get anywhere else. You will not get anywhere else. I'm telling you things that could get me canceled over and over. That could, there's reasons why they did the witch trials and whatever else, the witch hunts and all those things. There's reasons why they burned us. We remember it. This time the fire is perfecting the alchemy. This is why it's happened over time, over generations and generations. So we learned to work with the sacred fire and reclaim it. When you think about that saying, we're the granddaughters of the witches you couldn't burn. That means that they withstood the fires. Okay. Something to think about. So stay tuned here. Stay tuned to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be back. I'm Amira Barakat Al-Baladi, also known as Sarada Muladara, the root chakra goddess, bringing you transmissions to nurture the foundation of your being and channel heaven on earth through you. So stay tuned for more. And what do I want to say? Get on my mailing list. I'm going to be doing most of my promo for the Dark Feminine Mystery School on my mailing list, so you'll know as soon as you can sign up. As soon as we start, you'll be notified every step of the way. Join my app if you want more connection. Oh yeah, so I started my 40 days and 40 nights spiritual detox challenge on 3/3, so I can run it all the way through Ramadan, which starts on 3/10. That's 6 days, 1 week from now. So I like to start easing myself in. Usually my first 7 to 10 days of my detoxes are basically just me easing myself in. I do these for 40 days and 40 nights. If you wanted to have a strict, a really, really strict cleanse, you would do it for the entirety of the 40 days and 40 nights. But I like to do it this way to work myself up to it. And there's basically certain things that you can cleanse from. For example, I might abstain from sex, or I might abstain from weed. But if I know that I have a strong dependency on one thing, if I'm gonna already abstain from sex and weed, I'm not gonna diet also. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want, Or if I know that I'm gonna be abstaining from weed, I'm not gonna abstain from other things that I need. But if I know that there are certain things that go together, then I'm gonna abstain from all of them, or risk not making it. I do this as a kind of conscious sobriety type of thing, more so than strict with it. When I say conscious sobriety, I mean it's you're using intentionally. You're reducing your intake. You're reducing its impact on you. You're replacing other habits and activities that will help you get your goals, but you're not trying to too much deprive yourself, because I personally don't think that that's what we actually need as much as needing more pleasure. But you should know when it's time to cleanse, and you're not doing it just for a one-time thing. You're doing it to shift it into it as a lifestyle. So that's why I stress the importance of easing yourself into it and setting yourself up for success versus making it so hard that you have no choice but to give up, and then you feel like you're a failure and you go into a shame spiral and then you can't even start again. No, that's too much. Don't do that. Come to our app. I structured everything because, like I said, I want to be friends with all of you guys, but I can't, because also everybody can't be friends with me, and we don't need that to work together. We don't need that to work together. Okay. But the closer we work together, then the more obviously we'll be closer. I love connecting with you guys. I'm really excited that I set my platform up now to really be able to hold a lot of people. Right now, if 200 people signed up for Root Lock, I would be fine. I would easily be able to accommodate them with the same level of work that I'm doing right now for my clients that I already have. I set it up that way so that I'll be able to grow. Because one of my fears, one of the reasons why I had to make myself so unlikable, is because I couldn't hold the growth. I already had too many clients as it is. I already had too many people in my sphere as it is. And with how I had things set up already, and with my current boundaries, my pre-existing boundaries, I couldn't hold it. So it was too scary to take on more because I didn't have the capacity for it. So then shifting into a place where I actually do have the capacity for it makes it feel totally different. It actually feels safe to receive that influx of clients. Things that used to feel threatening before, feeling like someone was going to blame me or cancel me or punish me or I was going to get in trouble. These are very like childhood wounds that are pervasive throughout our life that actually affect how we do things and what we do. Like, that will keep you from being able to show up because it's too scary. And that's the importance of parts work. You work with the different parts of you. Like, that there's a part of you that is like scared of getting in trouble, and so you like work with that part to show that you're not going to get in trouble. Like, there's actually positive consequences of you showing up in this way or sharing what you think or doing that. They're not negative. You're not getting in trouble. Nobody has the power to punish you. No one's going to whoop your ass. Whatever. You have to affirm that to that part of you. So this is one of the things we do a lot in our work together. I have my rebirth coaching container, my 9-month coaching container. If you want to start now and finish before the end of the year, you still have time to get in this week. If you get in by the end of this week, then we can start. Yeah. We can start. Yeah. So, let me see here. What else is there to share? I can't think of anything, but if I think of it, I'll let you guys know. Peace. Come through. Let's heal the mother wound with dark feminine energy. Stay tuned for my upcoming mother class that I'm going to be teaching. Stay tuned for my videos that I'm going to be sharing. I'm clearing my throat chakra. I'm getting the ball rolling so that I can get back into my content creation vibe and influence the masses. Like, you know how we do. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, healers. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, say mashallah, tell a friend to tell a friend. Stay beautiful and stay tuned. Peace.